From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Carolina field hockey is back and in the Final Four for the 14th time in 15 years. Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Caroline Yaffa.
And I'm Lee Jeffries. Thanks for joining us. This weekend, UNC is playing right here in Chapel Hill at Karen Shelton Stadium, looking to capture their 11th national championship.
Today's semifinal opponent is ACC rival Virginia. UVA is one of the two teams that beat UNC at KSS this year. The top-seeded Tar Heels are set to take on Virginia at noon today. Carolina lost to UVA in the regular season, but beat the Cavaliers in the semifinal round of the ACC tournament just a couple weeks ago. UNC will rely on offensive production of leading scorers Riley Heck and Charlie Bruder, who have scored a combined 26 of the Tar Heels' 59 goals so far this season. This will be Erin Matson's first time at the Final Four as a coach, but she has plenty of experience playing in games on the biggest stage. If the Tar Heels win today, they'll take on the winner of Duke and Northwestern on Sunday for a chance to win the program's second consecutive and 11th overall national championship.
Just a super exciting day, and UVA is a big rivalry just because of the ACC, so it's just overall, like, the atmosphere is going to be insane.
For more build-up to the Final Four, let's go over to field hockey analyst Riley Kennedy live at Karen Shelton Stadium. Riley?
Now, Caroline, you see behind me, we're just 30 minutes underway until NCAA semifinal game number 1. That's UNC versus Virginia. Now, this is the third time that they're going to meet this season. They played once in the regular season. Virginia won. They played once in the ACC tournament. UNC won. Now, it's a best out of 3. Peyton Worth leads the Tar Heels in points, right? She has 2 goals and 4 assists in this NCAA tournament, right? She leads the NCAA tournament. She had 4 straight assists against Harvard. Now, a year ago, she was lost, right? She lacked confidence. She didn't really know what was going on. So she sat down with Erin Matson, who was her teammate at the time, over in the Rizzo Center in the hotel right before the NCAA tournament. They broke down film. Erin said, "You're there. You're in the right places. Just keep doing what you're doing." Peyton ends up popping off in the tournament. 7 points, including 1 goal against Penn State, her former teammate in the NCAA semifinals. Now, a year later, like I just said, she leads the NCAA tournament in points, 2 goals, 4 assists. Let's see if Peyton can lead the Tar Heels to a victory, and let's see if Erin Matson can get yet again to the next NCAA championship. Caroline?
Riley, we're getting closer to game time with the entire season on the line, and this team is filled with absolute field hockey legends. What does the team need to do to play together and advance to Sunday?
Yeah, they need to find their identity, right? You need to play 4 straight quarters. In their first matchup, they lacked in one of the quarters. Virginia struck 3 straight times in that in that game, and they came out with the win. It's corner execution, right? It's circle play. Find your identity early on, and UNC comes out with the victory.
Thanks, Riley.
The football team is traveling to Death Valley tomorrow to face the unranked Clemson Tigers. Clemson is coming off a big win against Georgia Tech, the team the Heels lost to just 3 weeks ago. The Tiger defense ranked 6th nationally, holding teams to only 270 yards per game. The Heels are coming off a nail-biter against a mediocre Duke team, allowing third-string quarterback Grayson Loftus to account for 4 touchdowns. Drake May and the offense will once again have to carry the team against a Clough Clemson defense, hoping to take down the Tigers and avoid ACC championship elimination. UNC, Duke, and NC State all in one place and getting along. Kyle Ennis says it's possible under the right circumstances.
Kyle Gibson has been training for weeks in Raleigh. He worked hard to get here because he wanted a spot at Rivalry Flag Football Special Olympics, but also because
I'm doing this for my dad, because he's got children on his leg, and we're going this for him. Love you, Dad.
everyone here is motivated.
I like to go deep sometimes, do some little catches. I like to catch the ball.
Let it win. They better win it.
Sometimes, just a couple of dance moves can smooth the nerves out here. In a crucial matchup in the tale of the better blue, and with the game tied, UNC dropped back with this pass to get a touchdown. The next drive proved it was heads up from UNC's athletes, a short drop back, and with the heels in the defense, a huge read led to the ultimate pick six, taking the win against the Blue Devils. The night gave Special Olympics athletes not only a place to play.
UNC Duke and NC State rarely find common ground. But tonight, it was bigger than sport. It's great. They're all my friends. They're all good. They're all friends of mine.
Didn't have a chance to do high school sports, so it gave me a chance to be part of a team.
Even he couldn't wrap around his head why he couldn't play high school sports, just like everyone else. To some, the best part of the night is all too relatable.
You get bragging rights.
I'm Kyle Ennis, reporting.
It's awesome. We got 2 wins in football against Duke in a week span, but more importantly, with great impact for these special athletes too. Now, Caroline, how are you feeling about tomorrow's game against Clemson?
Well, Lee, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, even though UNC is not favored because Clemson has a home advantage, they're also 8th in the ACC right now. So I think UNC really needs to step up. They need to come together, play as a team. They've had a lot of home games. They've had 8 out of their 10 games this season in Kenan Stadium. So Drake May needs to come to South Carolina ready with his team and bring back a win.
Caroline, I couldn't agree more, and it seems like at this point, UNC is out of the conversation about the ACC championship, with teams like FSU and almost undefeated Louisville, even though they play Miami tomorrow. I feel like at this point, we need to focus on trying to get a better bowl game prediction. I think that might be the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, and I think that's what we need to focus on for these next 2 games.
I completely agree with you. The women's soccer team is in Lubbock, Texas to face off against the University of Alabama in the second round of the NCAA tournament later today. The Crimson Tide are familiar foes to UNC as the 2 teams played in Tuscaloosa in September. The game ended in a draw 1-1. Avery Patterson provided the Heels with their lone goal in the 59th minute, but Alabama stuck around and evened the score in the 79th minute. The Heels needed to be disciplined as they missed out on several opportunities to widen their lead, but were called for offsides. The game will start at 3:30.
After their defeat in the ACC Championship Final, the UNC men's soccer team has another shot at hardware with the first round of the NCAA tournament being played here at Dorrance Field on Sunday. The Tar Heels entered the tournament as the 3 seed after their impressive display in the ACC, toppling higher-ranked teams Wake Forest and Syracuse before eventually falling to Clemson in a penalty shootout. Their efforts did secure them a bye into the next round and a matchup against Memphis. For a look into what Carolina has to do to beat Memphis, let's go to Caroline's Corner. Caroline.
Lee, it's the second round of the NCAA tournament. And if we've learned anything from Carolina athletics throughout the years, when tournament time comes around, anything can happen. So how do we prep for a game against Memphis? Well, let's see what they're bringing to the table. Lineker Rodriguez dos Santos is the American Athletic Conference's Offensive Player of the Year and the team's leading scorer with 14 goals on the season, 2 just last night. Now let's check them out. So in their first play, we're going to see Memphis take the ball down. They're going to cross the ball over here for a quick volley that Dos Santos is going to finish off with a header. Now let's watch that one more time. So what do we see here? Let's look at the SIUE defense and see where they messed up. So over here, we're going to see him. He's going to slide tackle just a minute too late. The cross is already off. Then we're going to look over here. We got this huge wide space. If we look here, this defender is going to slide over to his right while Dos Santos drops over to the right corner of the box, giving him that entire right post free of space. Now, if this is UNC and they're defending this play, they have 1, 2, 3 opportunities to shut this down. Now, if UNC defense stays in the right position and takes the right steps to get in front of any one of those offenders, then that means no goal for Memphis. I think if UNC defense is alert and they step hard to prevent this, then this play would never happen. Now let's check out this next play by Memphis. So over here, we're going to see, again, Memphis is going to take the ball down. We see Dos Santos coming in right here. They're going to do a quick little pass Dos Santos is going to wrap around, do a nice little spin move, and get a clean and easy goal. Now again, we're just going to watch that one back to see exactly how UNC defense would be able to defend it a little bit better than SIUE did. So right over here, we see this defender is going to step, and he is going to lunge forward to the ball. What else does he do? Well, when he lunges forward, he gets himself out of athletic position. Now, in addition, this player, he's going to go and he's going to try and poke the ball. Well, he pokes with the wrong foot, and he gives Dos Santos that space to turn. The good news is UNC defense has seen this before, right? Our offense loves to be able to do these little quick turn plays, so in practice, they know how to defend them. We see it from the offense all the time, and UNC defense is ready for it. If they stay in an athletic position, they'll eliminate Dos Santos as a threat. Now, if UNC defense can hold off Dos Santos and the offense can generate some momentum, I think the Heels could be moving on. But it's the NCAAs, you've got to be prepared for anything. Lee?
Caroline, UNC is the 3 seed in this tournament. Do you think they might play down to their opponent?
Lee, that's always a fear when you play a lower seeded school. But I think if UNC focuses on playing their game and they control the controllables, they continue to play at a high level.
Thanks, Caroline.
On Wednesday, the 17th ranked women's basketball team secured a victory against Hampton in an unusual morning tip-off. Leading the scorers, senior guard Deja Kelly had 12 points with this bucket. The Heels kept the point margin in double digits for 3 consecutive quarters, giving the kids in the stands something to cheer about. UNC had only 9 turnovers to Hampton's 29. Carolina beat Hampton 62-32, and with this win, UNC moves to a 3-0 record as they prepare to play Elon at home this Saturday. Princeton graduate Lexi Wedger has made her way down the coast to join women's basketball head coach Courtney Banghart's staff as a graduate assistant. Mason Murr has her story.
Losing the coach who recruited her wasn't easy for Wedger.
Lexi I recruited and then coached for a year, and when you have to walk in a locker room and tell them you're leaving, it's terrible.
One thing that I had decided in the recruiting process was I was going to pick a school where even if I didn't have basketball on the table, like I would still be happy. And I think through all of that, like Coach Banghart showed me that like Princeton was my place.
But 5 years down the road, Coach Banghart showed Lexi that UNC would be the place to coach while pursuing her master's through the UNC Sports Administration graduate program. The timing was just perfect for Lexi.
I knew junior year that I could see myself coaching. I've just always kind of had that high basketball IQ, that like passion for like wanting to like help develop.
And she's got a really good basketball mind. You know, she's done a lot already. She's got a bright future in this business, and what a great place to learn it.
The similarity between Princeton and UNC for Lexi is that she's getting pushed to challenge herself day in and day out. So although it's tough to enter her first season not suiting up in a basketball uniform since she was 6 years old, she's using this new role to just soak it all up to learn about the business of college basketball. It is a full circle moment for Lexi. From being Coach Banghart's recruit and player to now her staff member, they have one special relationship and connection at 2 amazing universities. I'm Mason Murr reporting.
It's been an exciting start for Lexi as she continues to adjust to her new role in Chapel Hill.
Before heading to the Bahamas for some tough competition, the Heels men's basketball team will face UC Riverside in the Dean Dome tonight. Coming off a solid 90-68 win against Lehigh, the Heels will fight to avoid an upset against the Highlanders. Expect Coach Hubert Davis to take advantage of this year's skilled bench as well as UNC's big size advantage. Coming off his third 20-point, 20-rebound game of his career, expect Armando Bacot to be a relentless force in the paint as usual. Senior point guard RJ Davis will look to continue being on fire from 3, and freshman Elliot Cadeau will look to bounce back from his lackluster shooting on Sunday tonight.
The volleyball team will look to strike back against Florida State at home on Sunday afternoon, after the Heels' 3-set loss to the Seminoles in September. In the first matchup, outside hitter Mabry Schaffmaster was the offensive leader for the Heels, with a match-best 15 kills and a 306 hitting percentage, yet the Heels just couldn't match Florida State's 370 hitting percentage, hitting 197 themselves. The Seminoles have a 5-match win streak against Carolina, which is the longest for the Noles against UNC since the 1976-86 stretch. The Heels will need to be cleaner offensively and have fewer serving errors to be successful against FSU. For more about volleyball, let's go to volleyball analyst Ashley Humphrey with Aces with Ashley.
Caroline, UNC pulled off a reverse sweep against Wake Forest last Friday after being on the losing end of the reverse sweep the week before. And while the weekend concluded with an expected loss against the number 5 ranked Louisville team, one player was the surprise performer of the weekend, and that's none other than Sophie Hampton. In the third set of the Wake Forest game, the most crucial if this team was going to pull off a reverse sweep, outside hitter Amani Foster suffered an accidental blow to the head by a teammate coming down from the net. This led to Hampton being subbed in unexpectedly, and boy, did she show out. In a game where maybe Schaffmaster was having trouble producing points, Hampton was crucial. She finished with 13 kills, and 5 of those came from the 5th set. So we're going to take a look at 2 of those kills from the 5th set. This first one is going to be a recovered ball from Babic, and just check out how Hampton gets set. She waits on it so the timing's right and just puts it down. The best part of this is her celebration. She brings great energy. She's super confident. It's just such a joy to watch her on the court. This next play is actually match point, and it's only fitting that she scored it. She passes her own ball, gets outside, Zoe sets her up, and she swings down the line right off the Wake Forest player's hands. And playing like that secured her a starting spot against the number 5 Louisville team. And this next play we're going to look at is actually her playing defensively. And so a 6 rotation outside, you leave them on the back row, you know they're probably not going to get all of the defensive balls and plays that a libero or defensive specialist would, but you leave them back there because 1, you don't want to use a substitution, and 2, you want that extra hitter in the back row. But Hampton defies these odds. She's 6'1", she's in middle back, she's going to recover this ball off the block, and it ends up resulting in a UNC point. And so to do this as a freshman who wasn't even expecting to play this weekend is super impressive and just goes to show you always need to be ready on the bench. And I keep saying it, but this team is deep. They have a great future. They have incredible talent in the freshmen, and I'm looking forward to them playing the Seminoles this weekend. Caroline?
Ashley, this team lost to Florida State in 3 sets last time they met. What do they need to do different this weekend for a better outcome?
Well, since they last met, the team's been running a 2-set rotation, and they've also been using Sydney Nolan in the middle. So if Nolan, Hampton, and Sadie Swift can step up in the front row, they easily could win this game.
Thanks, Ashley.
The Carolina wrestling team heads to Illinois this weekend for back-to-back duels against Central Michigan and Illinois University. The Heels are on a hot streak, recently beating 13th-ranked Arizona State 22-16. All eyes will be on number 6 ranked Gavin Kane as he comes off his first loss since the quarterfinals last year in the NCAA championships. Spencer Moore had an electric debut, beating 11th ranked Brandon Kaler from OSU. He'll be on the lookout for his 5th straight win. Of course, we can't forget about 3rd ranked Lachlan McNeil, who is smooth scaling through his bouts with his 4-0 record. The Heels will take on Central Michigan at 1, followed by Illinois at 5. You might remember this game from the playground, but for Carolina Jump Rope Club, it's much more. Samantha Hoffman explores how this group takes jump rope to the next level.
For the Carolina Jump Rope Club, practice is a time to get brave and creative.
Really challenge them to try to come up with something that they've never seen, or we break off into groups and teach them tricks.
They are currently practicing for their fall showcase, where they will perform a collection of moves from throughout the semester. Next spring, they will practice for the national championship.
We have double dutch, which is kind of like the movie Jump In, speed, which is how fast you can go in a given amount of time, lots of big group things with different ropes flying, and they're super crazy. And
their 20-minute routine of jumping variations keeps athletes fully engaged both mentally and physically.
Like, it requires a lot of skill, both like with cardio and endurance, and then also just being able to learn new tricks, hand-eye coordination, all of those things. It's a great workout, and it's also just really fun, super creative.
Club member Audrey Isaacs has jump roped for 10 years and loves the continued challenges and competitiveness of the sport.
There's a ton of different skills in jump rope. It's kind of unlimited. You can always learn something new, and that's one of my favorite things.
The single rope allows athletes to set individual goals and limits, regardless of their level.
You can just have your traditional jumping that you see kids do like on a playground, but then you can kind of go to any level of challenge that you want. So you can do multiple jumps under at once. You can add push-ups in their strengths, handstands.
When it comes time to competitions and showcases, however, the team requires unity.
But I would say the main challenge with kind of working with a group is kind of getting everyone in sync and time together. In jump rope, when we're performing, it's very obvious when you make a mistake, so we're all about like trying to cut the mistakes as much as possible.
Despite the challenges that arise, members encourage newbies to give the sport a try, as there are high learning curve opportunities on the path to nationals.
It's just a great way to work out in college, try new things, meet new friends.
If you'd like to see the Carolina Jump Rope Club showcase their work, they'll be in Fetzer Gym A later today at 6 p.m. In Chapel Hill, I'm Samantha Hoffman.
We were hoping Samantha would show us a few tricks she learned while she was there. Caroline, how are your skills with the jump rope?
My jump rope skills are not very good. Let's leave it to the Carolina Jump Rope Club, to the professionals, because it's not a good situation over here. What about you?
That's reassuring to hear, because trust me, I'm probably even worse than you.
Oh gosh, I doubt that. But now to the play of the week, that the two plays that you have voted on. One was Carolina Soccer's Allie Setnor's goal against Townsend in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and the second one was Noah Burnett's field goal to send the Heels to overtime against the Duke Blue Devils. And the results are in. With the game on the line and the pressure is definitely on, Noah Burnett scored an unbelievable kick to the bottom right. This was unreal, sending it to overtime and then eventually to double overtime for an eventual Heels win. Lee, I don't know about you, but looking at this crowd, it was absolutely electric. It's a sea of Carolina blue right here.
Yeah, Caroline, the energy was absolutely insane, and I'm so glad that the football team pulled through to give us that experience rushing the field.
It was awesome. It was, as a senior, it was a great last home game win, and the victory bell is ours, so what can you complain about? Nothing.
Yeah, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and that does it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll be back on Monday with all the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.